In this video, we are going to discuss about the getting started with Python. Here we will be discussing about what are the introduction that we needed for Python, the benefits of Python, the shortcomings of Python, the ways of working with the Python, and also about the differences between the compiler and the interpreter. First of all, we'll discuss about what is the introduction about the introductory part. So to deal with this, we are going to discuss with who have developed this. Then what type of language it is, and what are the areas where it has been used, and also about the companies which is using it. So we can say that it is Guido van Rossum in the year 1991 February developed this language called Python, and it is a high level language. So what is meant by high level language? You might be having the confusion, right? We know that it is of two types of languages. We have that as high level and also the low level. We all know about it, right? So high level language means the human understanding programming languages of computer are called the high level languages, and low level language means the machine languages. The low level language of the computer is the binary language, because we know that the computer knows only two digits, which are they 0 and 1, that is pi stands for 2, so it knows only two digits, they are the zeros and 1. That's a computer non language, is the binary language, we can say. And we can say that it is an object oriented programming. What is meant by object oriented programming? That means it is not depending upon the way how it has been doing, but it is giving more importance to the data or the object in the program. That's called the object oriented programming. Next, we can say that it is an interpreted language. That means the way of translation, that is a language processor is needed to translate it, and here the interpreter is the language processor being used in the case of Python. And it's the fastest growing language. What does it mean by fastest growing language? Because it's most popularly used nowadays. Okay, it's been in the many fields we have, and the areas why we are using it. We can use it for making the softwares, in the applications, and also in the game development area, in the machine learning and artificial intelligence. You may be having the doubt, what is a machine learning and what is artificial intelligence? That means the robotic works. That means the human works are done by the machines now. So such works are called the artificial intelligence. And machine learning means the machine is predicting what we are going to do. That's what called the machine learning. For example, if I want to write this, if the dictionary is on in our WhatsApp or anything, it will be coming up with what? When I type T itself, they will be predicting whether it will be this. They will be giving us with some options. Among that, we can choose. We don't have to write fully, right? Such type of things, we call it as the machine learning. And next one is it's been used in the hacking also. That means the hacking software can also be done with the help of the Python. And most popular companies like Google, YouTube, Dropbox are using this Python software. So that's about the Python. And also we can also say that Python is a multiple window software. It means we can have the multiple windows into our Python, multiple screens. What are the benefits or the advantages of Python? What are the different advantages of Python? First of all, we can say that it's very easy to learn. Like it is a user friendly program. Okay, easy to use. That means it's a programmer friendly language, and it's expressive language. That means it is using only fewer codes and syntaxes. What's the word meaning of fewer code? Means only lesser code it is using. Lesser code compared to any other programming language. And syntax means the rule of a programming language is called the syntax. Okay, syntax is nothing but the rule. Okay, we can say it as the rule. That means while you are studying any English languages, we will be studying about the grammar in it, isn't it? The grammar. What is grammar? How to write a sentence, we must know it, right? So that is the rule of English language. Same like this, our Python or any other programming language is also having the syntax. Okay, and we can say that it's having only fewer syntaxes. Okay, only few grammars or few rules. And what is it meant by expressive language? We can say that a small program, I can say that that is sampling of numbers. That's a equal to 10, b equal to, I'll write b here, b equal to 20. I just wanted to interchange numbers. That means I want to swap the numbers. What I want to do, if it is in Python, what I will be doing means I want to take one more, in C or C++, I wanted to take one more variable, that is C. So I will be first of all saying it is a temporary storage area, actually C. So I'll be just saying C is equal to A. And nextly, I'll be making this A to B. A is places, that means C is having A, that means C is now having 10. Now A is completely free, so A will be holding the B's number. What is B's number? It's 20, right? I was going to write 20, sorry, it's B. And then we can write that B equal to C. This is way of writing it. B is having nothing, so we will put C's value over here. So this is the way of swapping that we are doing in the case of C or C++. But in the case of Python, we don't need all these things. While we get these two numbers, while we are getting with these two numbers, we just wanted to swap like this. That means A comma, you can just swap like this, A comma B is equal to B comma A. Just interchanging can be done in fewer chords, a lesser chord. You don't have to go with much. B comma A, sorry, since it's a mouse, it's not working as I said. So it's like this, B comma A. Okay, so next is its completeness. What is meant by completeness? That means it is having a huge number of libraries, pre-installed libraries or the standard library. So we can say that it is a complete language. Next point, we can say that next benefit of it, that is cross-platform language. What does this mean? That means it can have a huge number of, that means it can work with the different types of hardware and software combinations, or we can say that can be used with different operating system. For example, Python can be installed in our smartphone as PyDroid software. It's a Python. And in Windows means we can install it any operating system. Android is an operating system in the mobile, and we can say that in our Windows 20 or in Linux, any operating system, this software can be downloaded or installed. Okay, the Python software, that's the thing that we have with our cross-platform language. Next, we can say that it is a free and open source software. What does it mean? That means it's freely available in the net. We can just go and download it freely without giving any payment for it. It's a free software and open source. That means we can freely use it. If there is any program, we can edit it also. We can modify in our own way. Such type of things we can call it as what? Free and open source software. Okay, next is it can be used in a variety of usage applications. For example, not only in the case of addition or subtraction of number, but also the graphical interfaces or any other fields we can use this. Even in the case of how we are doing the website calling on a Python language, everything is possible. Every programs are possible in the case of Python. So it's having a variety of applications. About what is the negativeness or what are the shortcomings of Python. Okay, so we can say that it is not a fastest language. We said that it is running with the help of the interpreter. That means the language processor we are using is the interpreter. Interpreter will do only line by line. First line, then only it will go with the second line. So it's taking what? It's taking time. So it is making it, the interpreter is making it slow. Only after correcting one line it will be able to go with the second line. So we can say that it is not a fastest language, and it is having the lesser libraries compared to the C, C++, Java and all. Means all the other languages are having more standard libraries than in the Python, it seems. And next, we can say that it's not strong on that type binding. That means it does not support the concept of data types. Int, float, all those things are there, and therefore it cannot check by the type mistake. If we have mistakenly done in the case of int, we have done float. They are not sometimes identifying it. That's called it's not strong on data binding. Okay, so that's called it we can say that type binding. For example, I can say that For example, if int and float been used together, they might be giving sometimes with the int answers. Okay, and means type conversion is not done there. That's why it's called not supporting the concepts of data types. And not easily convertible. That means if you have written the program in Python language, is difficult to be converted to any other language, because the syntax of Python and other languages are very different, because we have only fewer chords in the case of Python, but in other languages I said that it's much more longer. So the programming language, the syntaxes are different, so the conversion is also bit difficult to do. Not difficult, but not easy. And next one, we can say that about the interpreter versus the compiler. What is the difference between this interpreter and also the compiler? We will discuss with. Interpreter means it will be converting. Both are the language translator. You know that both are the language translator. We have already studied about that. So interpreter will be converting the program line by line, because both needed to be converted to the machine or the binary language. So this interpreter, it is doing, or it is converting line by line. But in the case of compiler, it is converting all codes together. Okay, if in the case of interpreter, if any errors are found, it stops here unless the errors are corrected. Means if one line is having error, we are not supposed to go with the second line. Only after correcting that line, we have the permission to type the next line. That is with the case of interpreter. But since we are writing, in the case of compiler, we are writing the whole program at once, they are detecting the errors together. Which all line is having the error, they will be detecting, and they will come us or display us with the line number. An interpreter is slower in execution, because it is doing line by line, it is slower in the execution. But since the program is done all together, in the case of compiler, it is faster in execution, and it consumes memory for a long period of time, because one by one line we are using it, so it is consuming the memory for a long period of time. But in the case of in compiler, we can say that the consumes the memory for lesser period of time. Okay, so that is the difference between both the language process interpreter and also the compiler. Now we will discuss about the different ways of working with Python. Actually, we have two modes to work with Python. They are the interactive mode and also the script mode. What is an interactive mode and what is a script mode? Those are the two modes. I already said that we can work with multiple windows on the Python. So interactive mode means in this we are typing on the program and executing line by line, one line at a time. But in the case of script mode means we are writing the complete program and then executing it. Okay, in the case of interactive mode, that means first we are typing the first line, then the output of that line is shown. That is, output and the code are sandwiched. In the case of script mode, the code and output are separate. They are not sandwiched. Means after writing the whole program, there itself it is not showing us the result. It will be showing the interactive mode actually. Okay, script mode's output is shown on the interactive mode. Okay, so they are separate. Script mode output and the code are in the separate pages. Okay, so they are not sandwiched. And we can say that while we are running the code in the interactive mode, when we hit or enter the press button, it will be giving us with the output of it. Okay, but in the case of script mode, we will have to press F5 key. Okay, either from the keyboard or in the run option, we have a F5 key. We'll have to just press it, then only our script mode program will run. And in the case of interactive mode, since it is line by line, it's shorter codes. Okay, it's been used for the shorter programs or short codes, and it will be having 3 greater than symbol. These 3 greater than symbol, it is called a prompt. We call this symbol as prompt. Okay, this is called the prompt. Okay, this is called prompt. And this script mode, it is suitable for the longer programs because it can be saved and we can reuse it also. Okay, once we have done the program, we can save it, and another time if you want to check whether we got the correct result, or if you wanted to write the output of that program, we can just go and just press F5, open the program, then press F5, and we will be getting the output. Okay, that means it can be saved and reused. But in the case of interactive mode, we cannot save it because it is line by line. Means at that space itself it's been finished, right? So that's about it. Now we will just show it in detail how we are practically doing it. So I'm just going to the Python. I'll just take the Python. This is ideally Python 3.7, 32 bits. So I've taken the window. You can see here how I'm getting here. You can see the three prompt here, three prompt windows. It's the three prompt windows you can see over here. This window, this one we call it as the prompt. Now I have just typed here 3 is a equal to 6, and when I press A, enter, I am getting the value 6. B equal to 8, when I press enter, B, I am getting the value 8. B equal to high, when I press B and press enter, I will be getting high. Now it is from the file I have taken this. Okay, here one file is there, file new. I have typed value of A, value of B, C value. You can see here this mode we call it as the script mode. First mode was the interactive mode. This taking from the file we call it as the script mode. Okay, I want to print this, so I'm writing here C equal to, because we wanted to print the C value, right? C equal to this value that we want to print. Then I will be going to the run, and you can see F5, run module. F5 is the run module. So we'll have to save, then only we will be getting the output. So I have saved it. You can give any name for it. Now the same interactive into our answer is coming. C is equal to 112. So this is the way how we can do it in the case of script mode and also interactive mode. Interactive mode with the three simple, that is a prompt we call it as, and script mode with file. We can save and reuse it. Okay, that's called it. So that's all in this video. Thank you. Have a nice day.